Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwame Sha'ala, Koholoyimala Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Recha HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Hanan the Waf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And wanted to touch on this article in the Independent in the technology section, and it's entitled "China Tests Brain Chip to Control AI Agents." And so this chipping shit is getting big, man. I know. I was watching the Elders video yesterday. Matter of fact, I just seen it too. Where he went off into a lesson on how many people in the world already have chips, and that are pretty much overall using them to make purchases and things of that nature. And I think the number was, I think it was like 50,000 to 100,000 people or so. And that's a pretty decent number, considering, you know what I'm saying. And this place is like, I think it's Sweden. That's kind of got like, they're kind of top when it comes to a nation that pretty much they don't use cash currency. Overall, they pretty much, they really are chipped up. They have chips in their hands where they're able to make purchases and, get on trains, get on elevators, sign into their computers, all that silly shit that they can do without it. But this is the stuff that's being pushed out here, and they're going to try and make it cool. And if you notice a lot of these commercials as well, like your just phone commercials, all these new computer commercials. It's just a lot of AI generated humanism / robotism, a bunch of shit like that going on in the world right now. And so they're moving pretty quick with this thing. And I was reading in a lot of these comments. It's only 44 comments, but I guess it wasn't that popular of a article because people be, they pay attention to the dumbest shit in the world, man. But when it comes to something that really matters, they don't really check into. But when I was going off into these comments, they was talking about the mark of the beast, man. These people, they know about Revelation 13:16. They just don't know to what extent. They don't understand that the elite are not, the elect of Israel are not going to take no shit like this. And the majority of them that's actually in the comment board saying that they're not going to take it are going to actually take it, because only the elite, Salaki, I keep saying elite. I guess, they would be elite too. The elect of Israel are the only ones that's going to reject this particular technology when Esau comes down the pipe with it, which they're coming down the pipe with this shit soon, man, because that World War III is building up pretty fast. But let's get a little bit of the article. We'll grab a few scriptures. It says, China has become the second country to launch clinical trials for invasive brain-computer interface devices in humans. The first brain chip was tested on a 37-year-old man who lost all 4 limbs in a high-voltage electrical accident, according to local reports, allowing him to play video games using only his mind. So Elon Musk is not the only one that's on, that's doing this shit. And China, they don't have no morals. They don't give a fuck about nothing over there. They'll just go ahead and get to the business. Over here, it took Elon Musk, a little while to get his FDA approval. So over in China, they just like, hey man, run with it. See what you can do. See, hey, we want to be on top of all technology. We want to be first in the game when it comes to all this stuff. They ain't no red tape or bureaucracy with them. They don't have to, sign up for a bunch of damn licenses and permits that's going to take a few years to get. No, they get straight to the boogie. Okay, but it says the team now hope to develop the BCI to allow the patient to control a robotic arm, an artificial intelligence agent. The initial trial, which took place at the Center of Excellence in Brain Science and Intelligence at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, involved inserting tiny neural electrodes through a hole in the skull to read brain activity. Pretty much sounded like the same thing Elon Musk and them is on. The electrode is so soft that the force required to bend it is comparable to the interaction force between 2 neurons in the brain. This allows the electrode to coexist harmoniously with brain tissue over extended periods without triggering immune responses or rejection reaction. Okay, so here's this guy right here. He's sitting there looking crazy as hell too. Research teams in the U.S. are also testing, invasive BCI devices on human patients, including Elon Musk's Neuralink startup. The tech billionaire has announced plans to implant millions of people's brains with Neuralink chip over the next decade. Why do you think he's talking all that? Because they pretty much got it, man. They ready to roll this shit out already. Following successful trials that saw participant control computers using their thoughts. If all goes well, there will be hundreds of people with Neuralinks within a few years, maybe tens of thousands within 5 years, millions within 10 years, Mr. Musk said last year. Early Neuralink trials have focused on people with quadriplegia. However, Mr. Musk claims the technology can be used to augment human intelligence and ability, And this is what Esau overall wants to do. You don't think these people out here, man, these damn billionaires, these Rothschilds sitting on trillions, that they don't already have some computerized shit in themselves? They just trying to turn themselves, and you fuck around and see one of these niggas flying over your local city with a suit and tie on, man. You just never know what the type of shit these people on, man, with that kind of money, man. And they sitting in the backdrop getting the best of the technology without government oversight, man. You just never know. Okay, but it says eventually BCI devices could allow humans to merge with AI, according to the Neuralink boss, allowing people to compete with artificial general intelligence, AGI. Neuralink recently raised $650 million in new funding to help expand its testing program globally and expand what's possible for humanity. I wonder where they got that money from. Is that some of that money he was telling you that it was waste with Doge when they was cutting everybody damn jobs here? China's CEBSIT says that it expects the BCI to be ready for market by 2028, launching first as a medical device to improve the quality of life for amputees and people with spinal cord injuries. And you know where they're taking it from there. The Shanghai-based lab claims this device is already smaller and more flexible than Neuralink's BCI. So it's a race to this thing, man. So let's just get the scriptures real quick. Revelation 13, and you're gonna see. I'm gonna go to that comment board. Because I pulled this story, I seen it last night. I'm just now getting to it, But I was reading the comment boards, and there was a lot of people in there that was talking about this very scripture I'm about to read. Revelation 13:16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. See, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And if you're familiar with what the brother's been bringing out over the past couple of years with China, hey, China not playing no games over there, man. Those people. Why you think you don't hear about no school shootings and people on all kinds of drugs and all kinds of weirdo shit going on over there in China? Because they have a social credit score over there, man. They can shut your ass down on how you act. If you jaywalking, you ain't gonna see no goddamn bubblegum wrapper on the street. You ain't about to see no fucking potato chip bags flying. Goddamn somebody just throwing a damn Hennessy bottle out the fucking window of his car at 60 miles an hour. Now you ain't about to see they streets all fucked up. Now these Americans call them savage. But guess what? I bet you they don't have the problems that this place got. Why? Because it's a camera on your ass at every point that you turn. And when COV19 was going down, remember they had those people locked up in those damn apartments with a drone flying over their shit, telling them to stay inside. Certain checkpoints and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Badging in and badging out. So that technology is old with them. But what did this guy Klaus Schwab say? They want that actual design for here in the Americas. That's what this guy with this and I was just watching the elders video from GMS Kansas City with that Kim Iverson lady, and she was talking about the big meeting that I forgot what the name of the meeting was, but it's just a bunch of millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, tech, you know what I'm saying? Tech this, tech that, private meetings on how they're going to dictate how you regular citizens are going to live, man. And one of those companies is this guy that Trump just linked up with. I think it's called Patera, some crazy shit. I keep forgetting about the actual name for that company, but hey, he's on top of all that data. They're about to put all this shit together, and they're about to come down with some old If you've ever seen the movie Minority Report, precog or whatever they was calling it in the movie, where basically they can get you on thought crimes. Basically, like, they can be like, through AI, we can perceive that this person was gonna do this in the next 6 months, and we just gonna go ahead and pick him up now. You ain't even left your house. You ain't even done nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is the tech. This is of the age that we're living in, man. Revelation 13:16 again. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to just be out here in society catching a damn Uber to a damn dinner somewhere, downtown or something. You're not going to be able to, first off, get in an Uber without this chip. You're not going to even be able to walk into a restaurant without this chip. You're not going to be able to walk into a damn supermarket, a gas station, a daycare for your children, a school. I don't give a fuck where you're trying to go or what you're trying to do. If you don't have this man's microchip, you're not going to be able to coexist in society, man. And it's really very simple, And let me go back. I grab a couple of these comments. Because, see, you got regular people that know this, and then you got somebody, a Hebrew Israelite group that comes from One West with all that knowledge, and you trying to tell me that they don't know that this is the mark of the beast? This person right here, they got the damn beast flashing on the screen right here. It says, y'all know this is probably leading to the dreaded mark of the beast. Right? Somebody says, indeed. Somebody says, hey, they're just showing us now what they've been doing. Yep. Somebody says the shot was of the marks and thus will be another. No, the shots wasn't a mark. This is something different. This is going to be when they get the chip in your ass where you can't make those purchases and you can't buy or sell. That's the mark. You know that. Now, I will say that those shots was of, of a precursor, just to basically see who's going to be stupid enough to fall for the bullshit. And they got all the data that they need to see who's going to be, they're going to resist, and those that are going to be with it. They already know who they got to ruffle up. They already know who they got to come through and throw into a goddamn van. You know what I'm saying? Because when they do their restart, they're going to get rid of all the resistors. He says, but for those who follow the Most High's laws and commandments, he will always provide for us, those who don't well. No, he's wrong in that the shot. No, that COV19 shot, that wasn't the MARK like that. Okay, so this person says China is insane. I just watched a documentary on Cambodian prison. They're essentially concentration camps. They regularly harvest organs from the inmates against their will to be sold on the black market. China isn't too far off. I wouldn't be surprised if Chinese inmates were being experimented on with these brain implants or also being mutilated for the organs. Well, that's just pretty much what I overall said, because they don't have the rules and regulations here in the Americas. And overall, that's what he's trying to get rid of. Trump, that's the reason why he's overriding a lot of judges. He's not paying their judgments any mind. He's just saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to write an executive order and I'm going to put this in action, and he been doing it. He like, I need full access. I need full control to actually implement and do this stuff. All them checks and balances, all that, you got to go through Congress. You got all these court systems. You can go to the highest of Supreme Court. He like, man, fuck the Supreme Court. Right? It says, yikes, I wonder if the test subjects were voluntary. Somebody says the guy has no arms or legs. I'd probably be willing to test subject if that was me. But see, that's the thing. That this is how they're going to come at the people. They're going to come at them like, this is a miracle. Look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? His arms and legs are gone. He's out here, running a damn marathon now. He's jumping hurdles and shit. Matter of fact, he can jump over a 20-foot wall. He has extra abilities. He not only is he healed, he's better than his body was before. They gonna pull shit like that. Yep, somebody says, right, if I was him, I'd be the first to raise my hand and volunteer. And these are going to be the people that's going to run out here and they're going to get that chip, man. They're going to get that shit. It says, all the revelation now to some, but to us that know better, we already know. Yeah, his people out here know. That's why that's why just me speaking as a man, IUIC, the camp and the purple and gold, man. The Hebrew Israelite camp, like, they gotta be paid off, bro. Ain't no way regular people know shit like this and saying what they're saying. When you study the Bible, you in the Bible every day, and you can't see this, come on, bro. Okay, so this person says, why is Trump building AI bases around the country? Yep. Setting up for AI microchip that will be forced to receive. If you don't receive, you will not be able to buy or sell. What do we just read? See, people know. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. You're not going to be able to move about in this society without this man's shit. Says nothing new here. Everything that they told us about science fictions were lies. They all are actually fiction. Okay, they have the technology, they have the know-how to create the world's first bionic AI-assisted man. China is there. Somebody said, what happens if it starts heating up and catches on fire? Hey, they working out all the kinks. They pretty much got the kinks worked out already. Somebody says, Mark of the Beast is here. Yep, here go another person. Next thing is giving people the Mark of the Beast, or on their foreheads, aka chips in their heads. They won't be able to remove, because if they do, they will be dead. Somebody's deep ties. Think about, yeah, okay. Says somebody says, don't get the chip. Yes, I know the article is about China, but it will become a requirement in America by the Antichrist. Whatever you do, just don't get the chip. And when these people get to talking about an Antichrist, they thinking that it's some guy that's just gonna come out of nowhere, or they give you this story of some red guy on the ground called the devil with a pitchfork. He's controlling his lake of fire, fucking with everybody, you know what I'm saying, as they come to hell for being bad. And that's just not the case, man. Yep, another person is the mark of the beast. Yep. So people know. It's not like people don't know. Somebody said, there goes free will. You just signed your life and body away. Somebody's, they look like a chick warrior for God. The devil is a whole lie. Won't nothing be implanted here. Well, you better pray. You better pray that Yahweh Shemel Shai have mercy on you, man. Because everybody that's gonna, hey, this is the Lord's chip. Everybody that he wants chipped, they gonna roll their asses right to the chipping station and be chipped. And we're praying to Yahweh Shemel Shai for mercy, man. Because you can say what you're not gonna do and what you won't do now, but when those stomachs really get to growling, your kids get to crying, and they telling you that this is the only way, and Esau, he's always about using resources to fuck with the people. What that's pretty much about. So, somebody says MOB coming soon. Yep, marketed. Yeah, hey, people know, man. And these are so-called white people, black people, women, men, different races of people that are in here, and they know about this. Yeah, that was pretty much it right there. But as you can see, out of those 44 comments, man, shit, at least 10 of them knew that it was the MOTB, man. So, just by the spirit. Let's go into this real quick. Microchips and humans, and there's plenty of videos that came out back in the days, and it's they just not going into it like how they used to. They probably are banning these types of videos now, but you'll come across some of these videos that was a year ago, you know what I'm saying, little stuff like that. But at one point they was talking about this on your regular news. Like this one right here is was on PBS News. Microchipping humans Wells' great promise. See, that was 6 years ago. How far you think they are into this shit now? This video right here is going back 16 years. That's crazy. This is a 20-year-old video damn near. So how far along do you think these people are right now with this technology? See, there's plenty of videos on it. Matter of fact, the elder Yashawamba in the GMS Dallas camp, he had a video up of these billionaires with a private island, man. The motherfuckers had a private island with people on that motherfucker being chipped on there. Let me see. I want to put I think that's Sweden. That's kind of like your top spot. See, this was 6 years ago. See little videos like this. They have little microchipping parties and shit like that. Like this one right here. This was 10 years ago. Matter of fact, let's play this one real quick. It's only a minute, 24 seconds long. We'll end out. But hey, people could better know. You know, you got videos up here 20 years old, man, where this shit was already popping. So you know where they got to be at right now with it.
So Michigan probably just did the coolest thing I've seen any state do in a while. If you live in a Michigan...
An office in Sweden is taking wearable technology to the next level by implanting microchips into their staff. Yes, that's right. The newly opened Epicenter office complex in Stockholm is offering workers the chance to be chipped under the skin of their hands. The radio frequency identification chip, which is about the size of a grain of rice, allows users to open doors, swap contact details,
and if you notice, they always saying as small as a grain of rice, because that's them using that, you know, that trickery, that's that witchcraft of saying how easy it is to get. Like, it's just as small as a grain of rice. Don't be afraid, because it's not like they can put a damn Xbox in your ass. You know, they done broke that shit down to the smallest, and they got something smaller than that grain of rice hookup.
Use the photocopier.
It felt pretty scary, but at the same time it felt very modern, very 2015.
The chipping is entirely voluntary, and according to manufacturers, it's completely safe.
So some of the future areas of use, I think, like anything where you...
Okay, so this was 2015. You know, I would like to see a video of where they are now. You know, what has happened to them? Like, are they still alive and well, and, you know, no skin abrasions or none of you know, I would really like to see that.
They would use a PIN code or a key or a card. So payments is, I think, one area. I think also for healthcare reasons, that you can sort of communicate with your doctor, and you can get data on what you eat and sort of what your physical status. You have your own identification code, and you're sending that to something else which you have to grant access to. So there's no one else that can sort of follow you on your ID, so to say.
Fuck out of here. But everything being hacked these days. Everything is fucking hackable. And they just make it seem like it's so easy to do with these big ass smiles on their face. And these are Edomites. That's why the scripture says to never trust thine enemy, man. That's the way that they come at you. You know, the scripture talks about how they humble themselves and go crouching. You know, it says, yet take good heed, beware of him. You know, because he's eventually going to show you his true colors. With that big doofy ass smile on his face. Why the fuck would you need a damn chip in your hand to print some goddamn paperwork when printers are pretty much out of here? People don't even really use no damn paper like that no more. All your everything that you get in the mail, or, you know, as far as your receipts and shit, they don't send shit like that in the mail no more. They used to send like a bill in the mail, you know what I'm saying, letting you know what your bill was, little stuff like that, man. They don't do a lot of that shit no more. Most of this stuff is already electronic. Let me see what that one was. Probably the same thing, yeah. But yeah, man, they already doing it. The tech is already out there. You know, like a motherfucker trying to tell you that you need a damn microchip in your fucking hand to go to a snack machine. The fuck, you need a vending machine? Or you just, what the fuck kind of, why the fuck would I be going to a vending machine or need somebody to put that big ass syringe in my hand to get a bag of chips? These people... But you know what? It was a dude here. Let me see. Right up the street from me, too. Not too far away. the brother was here in town. We went through that city. He done a video on how stupid these Ishmaelites are. And not too far away. Let me see. It was a guy right here in Michigan. He put a microchip in his shit and was using it with his Tesla and all that shit. And that was a few years back too. Let me see. I'm just going to put in unlock his Tesla because I'm not sure if he was able to start that bitch or not. I think it was a Tesla. Let me see. Been a while. This is the guy right here. Yep. Fox 2 News. I was right here in Detroit. I mean, right up the street. This is not too far away. This is probably about maybe 2-3 miles down the way where Ishmael lives. But look at this guy right here.
Are you feeling stuck with $10,000 or more in debt and all the interest that comes with it? Try National Debt Relief.
Gave you the idea that you wanted to really be a walking computer?
So I've always been a tech enthusiast, and I always try to be on the cutting edge of technology.
So that drove Brandon Delali to do what some might believe only takes place in a science fiction.
And see, they prideful as hell with that big stupid ass look on their face. And see, a lot of Jake gonna fall for this shit because they're gonna present it as being cool. They already making it seem like it's a cool thing. You know, with your tap and pay. They got like this one commercial, I think it's by Citibank. And it's these two little girls. I think it's like a Girl Scout. They're supposed to be selling Girl Scout cookies or some shit. I'm sure you've seen it. They've been showing it through the NBA Finals. They show it on a lot of different channels now. But two little girls, they both got wagons. And they walking through the neighborhood. It looked like each one of them got a mom with them or something like that, an adult. But the little black girl, so-called black girl in the commercial, they making it seem as if it's more convenient by her getting customers faster because they're just tapping their phone to her phone and the payment is going through. In the meanwhile, they got this little so-called white girl. You know, they making it seem as if it's so hard to pull cash out of your wallet. You know, the people in the commercial dropping dollar bills and change on the ground, and the little girl is looking frustrated while the other little so-called black girl, she's smiling at her and shit like, I got one up on you with this technology. And that's how Esau gets down. That's why the scripture says to never trust thine enemy. For like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, see, he'll come through with everything is going to be easier and it can be that, faster. Like, motherfucker, it's only going to take you 2 more seconds to do the same shit you doing anyway. Anyway, but let's get back to this guy, man.
Movie.
It gets inserted into your skin.
A chip, and not the type you eat, but a microchip, has been implanted in Brandon's left hand.
This one is just a little guy right there.
Yeah, I see that right there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So after that was inserted and the swelling went down, I'm able to open up the front and back door to my house. I can walk up to people and have them tap their phone to my hand and instantly transfer my contact information, my portfolio, my COVID vax card.
But Brandon got to thinking, why stop there? He's got 2 hands, right? And plenty of room for more chips.
So I thought, how cool would it be if I could leave my house, no car key, no house key.
So 2 weeks ago, right here in Michigan, Brandon got another chip implanted, this one in his right hand, to unlock and start his Tesla.
It's a perfect backup, something you can never forget, something that doesn't break, something that won't fail you.
And if you think having chips implanted in your body requires a doctor or is costly, well, think again.
The chips themselves are anywhere from between $200 and $300, and the install only ran me about $100 because you can go to a local piercing shop who will obviously agree to do the installation. All the programming and coding of putting the apps on the chip, that's all done by me.
Moving forward, Brandon is thinking about having other chips implanted in his body.
So it'll be inserted right under or right over your breast, and then you can tap your phone to your chest and instantly get temperature readings.
And with all this talk about chips, Brandon hopes the chip for the Tesla gets the attention of you-know-who.
It would make all this worth it.
Of you-know-who. You don't think that he don't know about this shit? He's the Neuralink man. I remember when this was 2 years ago. And see, they haven't been talking about it too tough as of late. But guess what? They done enough talk. They done already programmed the people. They've already pushed that propaganda out there, you know what I'm saying, to make shit look cool. And it's gonna be a lot amongst a lot of the younger generation anyway. And you know, I wouldn't even doubt, man. Me speaking as a man, that's probably why they're getting rid of, you know, all these benefits that older people need. You know, with Trump and them doing all them cuts to just kill their asses on off. You know, because a lot of stuff that these elderly people need, man, Trump and them just cut, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's gonna be a struggle for them. And they, you know, you just never know, man. But as you can see, the guy said he had his COVID-19 vaccine information on that shit and everything, you know. So, hey, this is where we at, man. So just know that shit around the corner, bro. We almost the fuck out of here. Keep your head on the swivel, walk circumspectly, and stay on top of stuff like this, man, because these are the last two. With the shit going on with Israel and Iran, and you know, Russia, Ukraine shit popping, China, you know, Taiwan could be jumping off at any moment in the game. It's just wars, rumors of wars. All the other prophecies are coming to pass. All those, you know, uproars of the people in the world. The Lord Yahweh said, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. There's some cold-blooded killers out here right now, man. It's just, you have to just pray, man. Pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh for mercy and his favor in these last days, man. So, because we definitely there. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yasha Allah and the Bible Ball.